So let's retrace Charles Kuwaza's last steps. Charles came from the courthouse and drove to his offices with his wife. And these offices are popularly known as the club chambers. Okay, so he went there in the company of his wife. They drove to the offices. When they got there, he told his wife to stay in the car. He was going to his office to pick up more documents to support his case in court, just to defend himself. So he went upstairs to the office and left his wife in the car. He said he'll be back shortly. Yeah, I'm sure he said, honey, I'll be back shortly. Just sit tight. Yeah. So she stayed in the car. 10 minutes passed. Charles was nowhere to be found. 20 minutes passed. Charles was nowhere in sight. He did not come back. 30 minutes passed, and I'm sure the wife was getting anxious. The wife was getting worried. The wife was probably getting frustrated, like, why is he so slow? What's taking so long? 40 minutes passed, and Charles' wife saw people dashing in a certain direction, and people were saying that somebody had died, somebody had fallen from a tall building, and she also decided she was just going to go and see and witness this incident that had happened in her vicinity. So when she got there, she realized that that was the body of her husband on the tarmac, probably lifeless or probably life leaving him. Charles died on the tarmac. And it is believed that he jumped off a high building. He jumped through the window to his death. Why, Charles? Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to share. And if you're a subscriber already, welcome back. And thank you for being part of the family. So on Zim Crimes channel, we talk about crimes that have happened in Zimbabwe, outside Zimbabwe, anywhere and everywhere where Africans are thriving. But I mostly focus on Zimbabweans because I love Zimbabweans and I love Zimbabwe. So yeah, guys, don't mind my voice. My voice is just bad these days because we are in winter now, and I think I'm coming down with a flu or I'm coming down with a cold. I do not know. But yeah, my voice has changed since winter joined us. Okay, so let me just put a disclaimer out there. Everything that I talk about on this channel is already in the public domain. I do not make up these stories. I love telling stories, but I definitely do not make up the stories. The stories are already in the public domain. All I do is just to dig around and I make a video for you. So I'm your plug for those mysteries, those crimes that are unsolved, those mysteries that have been unsolved in Zimbabwe. Anything that you want me to talk about, if you have any suggestions, if you want me to look into a certain case, I will definitely go out there and hunt for the information and bring it out to you. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. So let's go into today's story. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about mysterious deaths. Okay, let me start by just talking about one death. One mysterious death that has happened in Zimbabwe, and I probably will do a series of those mysterious deaths that have happened in Zimbabwe that have gone unsolved, that we still do not understand what happened, why it happened, and maybe if it was foul play involved or if it was really just death. So I have actually spoken about mysterious deaths that have happened in Zimbabwe before when I spoke about the death of General Solomon Mujuru. If you haven't watched the video, try watch this video. Definitely, I will put the link down below so that you can also watch that video. And a whole other videos that a whole other people that died mysteriously in post-independent Zimbabwe. Put the link below again for you to be able to watch those videos, guys. Go back and watch those videos and just get to understand where I'm coming from. Thank you so much. So today we are going to talk about Charles Kuwaza. That's our person of the day. That's our interesting person of interest today. Stay tuned. For the purposes of this video, I am just going to be referring to him as Charles, but Charles was born Charles Tonerera Kuwaza. Kuwaza. And he did his secondary education at Bernard Mzeki High School. And he was considered to be one of those very smart students that got distinctions throughout his secondary career, his secondary school career. And he obviously went to some university where he did his further studies. But here is the thing that was interesting about Charles. Charles held a lot of very influential positions in his life, in his adult life. And all those influential positions were actually probably like presidentially appointed positions, right? Let's look at his career as an adult and as a very powerful person in Zimbabwe. This kicked off in 1994. Okay, in between 1994 and 2000, he was at one stage the permanent secretary for finance and economic development, as well as the Ministry of Defense. Yeah, permanent secretary, right? Charles also held positions like he was also at one point the chairman of the State Procurement Board. Now, I want you to note all these positions. This is where most of his problems arose from, these positions that he was holding. So let's talk about his career. He was at one point the chairman of the State Procurement Board, like what I said, and this is a board that is in charge of purchasing and buying on behalf of the government, like whatever the government is buying. He was in charge. That was a powerful man, right? Charles was a powerful man. He was also appointed chairman of the ZIMRA in 2010. That's interesting. ZIMRA. I want you to remember Procurement Board, ZIMRA, and it was also believed that at one stage he was even a chairman in the ZINWA board, right? And these positions were running concurrently, like, yeah. So it is said that actually there was an amendment that was done by the Minister of Finance that allowed him to be able to run those positions concurrently. Chairman of ZINWA and chairman of ZIMRA, something like that. Okay, but at the same time, he was also the chairman of the State Procurement Board. That is a very powerful position right there. Right. So during his tenure as this chairman, sitting for these boards and everything, there was a lot of scandal that followed him. There was a lot of accusations that followed him. And there was a lot of cases that he had to answer to. Let's dive deep into those cases. Okay, one such scandal that followed Charles was that he actually took home 147,000 US dollars as house repairs money. Apparently, it was his benefit to have that, but the amount was crazy, like 147,000 US dollars to repair a home. Why not just buy a new one? Why are you repairing it if it's going to cost you that much? But yeah, it was written down as home repairment. The other scandal that followed Charles was that of tax evasion. Tax evasion. But how does one even evade tax when they're supposed to be a member of the ZIMRA? I don't know. Okay. But yeah, he actually did some stage in his tenure as the chairman of the State Procurement Board. He actually imported several cars, and all these cars, he did not pay any duty for them. Along his tenure, ZIMRA asked the State Procurement Board to pay $790,000 US dollars on behalf of their employee, because he was saying that he was importing these vehicles for the state, but he did not pay any taxes. He did not pay any duties on these vehicles. So the State Procurement Board was asked to pay $790,000 US dollars as overdue taxes that were said to have been incurred during the time that Charles was the chairman of that board. Okay. Now, Charles had a lot of cases to answer before he died. Before he committed suicide. He had a lot of cases to answer, actually, that which most people actually believe that probably that was the reason he decided to kill himself. Let's talk about the other cases that Charles was facing during his life that could have motivated him or pushed him to end his own life. So Charles was facing 5 counts of corruption involving 1 million US dollars, 13.3 million rand, and 2.5 billion Zimbabwean dollars. That's a lot of scandal there. That's a lot of money. He was actually arrested, and in March of 2017, he was given bail of 2,000 US dollars. Now he had to go to court. Now he was appearing before the court, answering to his cases. And he didn't seem to be winning. But before that, he was also called before the parliament to explain the expenditure, to explain what he had been doing with all those monies that were being linked to his name. And guess what he did? He indeed went to parliament, but he refused to answer the questions. And because the parliament has no power to actually send him to prison, there was nothing that they could do. But he was charged with contempt of parliament because he did not answer the questions that the parliamentarians were asking him. The people that represent us in parliament were asking him to explain how he had allocated the ZESA tenders. When we say ZESA, who do you think of? Sewick Chivayo. Yeah. So he was asked to explain all those. How did Chivayo end up getting that tender? And what happened with the money? What did he do? And all that. But he refused to answer most of the questions. So he was just charged with contempt, but they could not send him to prison because the parliament's jurisdiction does not go that far. Okay, so it is also said that there was bad blood between him and Gideon Gono. At one stage, he was deputing Gono, guys. That's how powerful this man was. He was deputing the governor of the Reserve Bank. So he was the deputy governor. So when Gono was not in office, when Gono was away, Charles was in charge. Charles was at the helm of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Okay, but it is said that by the time that he actually left office, they had bad blood between them, where Gono was accusing Charles of being corrupt and working with Tendai Biti to kind of pull Gono down. But obviously, Charles was denying all those allegations, but it is said that they ended on a bad note, and then Gono decided to get him arrested. Well, according to Charles, Gono cooked up the allegations to get him arrested. Well, if Gono cooked up allegations, would Gono cook up something Zimra? Would Gono cook up the Procurement Board charges? Would Gono cook up all the charges? I do not know. But yeah, Charles said that those allegations were cooked up, and he fingered Gideon Gono in all this. He said Gideon Gono was the enemy. Now, like I said, he was said to, they believed that he was working with Tendai Biti to actually get him to be in these influential positions. Remember, Tendai Biti was the Minister of Finance at one point. Yeah, during the government of national unity. So during that time, Charles was also holding all these chairman positions. And it was said that it was done by the help of Tendai Biti. And Tendai Biti even went to Twitter and said that he knew Charles. Charles was a very smart person. Charles was an excellent chess player. Charles was focused. Charles would never take his own life because Charles was innocent. Of course, people responded in different ways. People commented on that. And yeah, the thread went on and on, where other people were actually in support of what Tendai Biti was saying, that there was no way Charles could have killed himself. But also some people said, no, you are saying that because you've never faced these kind of charges. When you face these kind of charges, you are bound to kill yourself. You are most likely to give up and see that, well, probably there's no future, there's no hope for you, so you are going to have to give up. We still don't know. Did he really kill himself? All I know is that his body was found on the tarmac, and yeah, he was dead. We don't know if he was pushed from his offices, or if he jumped on his own accord, or if he was told to jump by somebody. Close family members that actually commented on this case said that Charles would have never killed himself. He was very positive about the cases. He was very positive that he was going to win, and he was very positive about his innocence. But here's the thing. Sometimes we just say what we know our family members want to hear. We could be dying inside. We could be looking at it and thinking, oh my God, this is so terrible. I'm not going to be able to pull out of this one. But because we are surrounded by family, we're surrounded by people we care about, we put on a brave face. I don't know if Charles was putting on a brave face, a brave front, but yeah, it is said that he was just not capable of killing himself. Most people that actually knew him closely say that he was not capable of killing himself. So what could have happened to Charles if he didn't kill himself? Do you think he was forced to jump out the window? Do you think he jumped because the weight of the case was just too much on him and he just thought of the easy way out? I do not know. But yeah, that's one mysterious death that happened in Zimbabwe, and we still don't have a lot of we still don't have like a full explanation as to what really happened inside his office. Who was there, who was not there? How did he jump? Was he forced to jump? Did he jump by himself? But all we know is that his lifeless body was found on the tarmac, and it is believed that he had jumped from the 10th floor. Now, where is the club chambers, guys? It's said to be in the CBD. Where are the club chambers? I don't know where that building is. Like, I'm trying to see where the building is and what could have happened there. But yeah, that's the story of the day. That is the story of this day. Charles Toonerera Kuwaza, who died in the year 2017 and who held a lot of powerful positions in Zimbabwe. He, however, died facing a lot of controversy and a lot of about 5 counts of corruption and abuse of office. So we don't know if he killed himself, or if he was killed by somebody, or if he actually could not take it anymore. He could not face his family. He could not face people and decided he was going to kill himself. But what do you guys think? What happened to Charles? Did he kill himself? Was he killed? Was he forced to jump? Or did he jump on his own accord? Comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I see the family is growing every day, guys. I am super grateful. I am totally grateful for your support. I don't take it for granted. And also, guys, don't forget to comment. I honestly love to hear what you guys have to say. And like I always say, take care of your families, take care of your people, take care of yourselves. I don't know where you are. I don't know what's happening with the pandemic situation, but where I am, the pandemic is raging, guys. We have cities that are in lockdown. We have communities that are in lockdown. We just keep thanking God for the grace. We keep thanking God for just the gift of life, because yeah, it is only by his grace that we are still alive. And guys, remember, stay away from crime, because if you do crime, you are most likely to do the time. Goodbye and be blessed.